So the anime starts with three high school students running on the top of roof and dodging all the zombies, and it is seen that the zombies are only vulnerable to the attacks on their head. These zombies are very similar to the zombies in The Walking Dead. It cuts back to the present where the main protagonist, his name is not mentioned yet, is doing some expositioning how his ex-girlfriend did some promises and ditched him for his best friend, and he's very sad. And there is this pink-headed girl who thinks that she is the most intelligent person on the school and is trying to console the main protagonist in her own weird ways. And then suddenly a zombie appears in their school compound and this happens. Takashi, who is the main protagonist of this anime, sees all this stuff and runs towards his classroom to warn his ex girlfriend and best friend about the current situation. And then there is this announcement by the school principal that the zombies have attacked the school. Along with the announcement, students also get to know the severity of the situation by hearing their principal get brutally murdered by the zombies. This caused panic among students and they run for their life, but along in the process, a lot of students get killed. And this is also one reason the zombie outbreak had happened in the school. Takashi, his ex girlfriend, and his best friend take a different path to exit, which is the school auditorium. And the ex girlfriend is pretty strong to lift an adult like this. And by the way, her name is Ray. The fat kid and the pink headed also takes a different path to exit. Why? Because the pink headed is very smart. In the most difficult times, people show who they really are. Like the most loyal friend can betray you, or even a strong man can give up on their life because they cannot take the fact that there is no tomorrow for them. Takashi, his ex girlfriend, and his best friend were running towards the exit and they suddenly encounters a zombie. But unfortunately, his best friend get bit by the zombie. But somehow they manage to reach the rooftop of building and the symptoms starts kicking in his best friend that he's not the main protagonist of this anime and he will not get any superpowers after getting bit by the zombie. And he also turns into a zombie, so his friend Takashi has to kill him before they got attacked by him. Takashi and Ray does not know what the hell is going on here or why it is happening, but she calls her father who is a police officer, but instead of answering her calls, he insists them to evacuate the city as soon as possible because the zombie outbreak has begun and it is a very serious matter and there is an emergency on the entire country. On the other hand, Pinkhead and Fat Kid are inside the school, and the Fat Kid suggests to call the police, but Pinkhead says that police are also human beings, so as the military personnel, so they can also be infected and become a man eating zombie. But the Pinkheads do scream a lot. Then it cuts to a scene where a student is sacrificing his life for the school nurse, but instead of acknowledging him, she doesn't even remember his name, and what a pity. But honesty and the badass character of the anime comes, who is a kendo martial artist and beats the crap out of all zombies. The fat kid and pink headed are cornered by zombies inside a classroom, but the fat kid is a military genius and he makes a functioning gun out of a bowling pin, eraser, and some pencils and makes their way out of there. On the other hand, Ray and Takashi uses the fire extinguishing water pipe to make their way through zombies and also escape from there. On the way, Pinkhead and Fat Kid are analyzing the zombies and they conclude that zombies can only react to sound, so it is pretty easy to beat them. But on the next moment, the Pinkhead yells at the Fat Kid on top of her lungs and attracting a lot of zombies. Dumbass. Because of this stupid girl, they are once again cornered by the zombies, and this time the Fat Kid is out of ammo. So Pinkheaded is scared the hell out of her and screams on top of her lungs. This attracts Takashi, Ray, the school nurse, and the badass girl, along with a lot of zombies. But the pink-headed, she managed to kill one zombie, but along with she also makes a lot of noise. The Pinkhead claims that she is the most rational and intelligent person, and it is true to some extent, but not in this situation where there is a lot of pressure and are zombies. So she is the most emotional and instinctive person in this entire group. Then the badass girl Takashi and Ray kills all the zombie, but the Pinkhead is having a existential crisis and a panic attack together. And I told you she's the most emotional one in the group. 10,000 have been victimized just in Saitama, and the fact is, not even the reporter is spared by the zombies. And why would any news channel let their reporters go there? And the whole news is not actually delivered to the public because they know if the news is delivered, the public will be outraged and panic, and this will disrupt the order of the. This is a pandemic, and it's not just in Japan, but the whole world is suffering from this zombie virus, and all the governments in the world are trying to stop the spread of this virus. Seems familiar. After watching the news, they come to conclusion that they cannot rely on government to save them, and they are on their own, and they make plan that not to get bit by zombies and to rescue the remaining survivors and find some shelter. But they do a lot of posing. Some random girl was screaming, and it turns out some bunch of extras were cornered by zombies. So all of them saved these extras, and they were hiding from the zombies. But Pinkhead had a theory that zombies cannot see and they only react to sound. So our main hero Takashi checks that, and it turns out she was right. They cannot see. After testing the pink headed theory, they all head out to the exit, and some extra bangs his metal rod on the railing, which causes a loud noise. And our main protagonist, Takashi, being a smart person, yells at all of them at top of his lungs and attracting even more zombies. They go through the horde of zombies, and in the process, a bunch of extras are killed, and they find a bus. And after getting settled in the bus, they saw some more bunch of extras heading towards them. But Ray doesn't want them to come into the bus because there is a faculty whom she doesn't like for some reason. Inside the bus, the faculty suggests that there should be a leader for this group as a leader is important for such situations. But his suggestion is taken down quickly. But after some time, there is a conflict between some random dude and Takashi, and this strengthens the faculty's point. So, majority of them votes for the faculty, and he's the president. But for some reason, Ray doesn't likes it, and she goes out of the bus, and Takashi also follows her. This faculty is little suspicious because he's manipulating the students and creating a scenario of us versus them, what actually politicians do. Moments later, a bus full of zombies crashes in front of them, cutting the line between bus and Takashi and Ray. So Takashi tells them to meet at East Police Station at 7 o'clock. On the way to police station, they conveniently find a rider zombie, kill it, and stole his bike. But there is a problem. After meeting up, they don't know what actually do because they cannot expect any help from the government as they are trying to find a solution and tackling the problem. It cuts to a traffic jam where the police are recommending the passengers not to get out of their vehicle, and inside the traffic jam lies others. And some students are freaking out because of the violence that is happening in front of them, and the faculty is taking advantage of these students. So that's what Ray was trying to say before. Then why didn't she said that before? I don't know why. It is midnight now. After traveling a long distance, Ray and Takashi found a police vehicle in which they also got some ammunition. And after traveling a little bit more, they found a petrol pump so that they could refuel their bike. As the petrol pump was self-service and Takashi didn't had enough money to buy the gas, he went inside the counter leaving Ray behind, and taking that moment some random douchebag held Ray hostage. Random douchebag started assaulting Ray and wanted to be physical with her, and he also demanded the bike they had. And in short, Takashi killed him by shooting a bullet to his chest. Takashi and Ray left the petrol pump, and it turns out that random douchebag wasn't dead, but he was killed by the zombies. Now that's satisfying. The remaining anime will be covered in the next video as it was getting long. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.